Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing great today. This afternoon, I'm going to be doing a film review. Now, this is a slasher film. I actually thought at first this was an American film, but after watching it, I saw a few uh, accents that were a little bit off. So I looked it up, and it is in fact a German film. So this is a German slasher film made in 2007, directed by Luis Camara, and this is Still Trap. And the story is as follows. As an extravagant party unfolds on the top floor of an abandoned towering skyscraper, 5 different guests receive a mysterious text message inviting them to join an exclusive VIP party being held on the 27th floor of the same building. Once there, the 5 adventurous partygoers and 2 party crashers discover the same odd image, an empty room decorated with a children's party theme, complete with cupcakes, place settings, and name tags written out for each of them. These name tags are Pig, Loser, Two-Faced, Heartless, and Loverboy. Confused, the group of strangers introduce themselves by their real names before attempting to head back upstairs. However, our 7 strangers are not the only people on the 27th floor. A silent assailant, clad in industrial black and armed with a meat hook, is hunting the group throughout the labyrinth of empty offices and derelict hallways. With danger around every corner and death on every floor, our cautious group must outrun, outthink, and outplay their unseen opponent if they are to have any shot at leaving the building alive. So yeah, that's your basic sort of plot for this little German slasher film. I have to say, my thoughts on the film, I have not been this disappointed with a film in a very, very long time. It was a blind buy, it was only $10, so I thought, no, it's worth the risk. Looking at the cover, I thought, no, this looks pretty cool. It looked pretty dark and twisted on the back there. But 10 minutes into the film, I just knew that this was going to be a disaster. The acting was awful. The 7 guests, or the 7 main characters in this film, have been invited up into this 27th floor by this madman. All of these characters were very unlikable. Now, I've said in the past that for a standard slasher, you always have one guy that you really hate that you want to hope that he dies horribly. But with this film, the director has got together the most unlikable characters. So straight from the start, you just get annoyed by these people. The hero of the story, the good guy, he is just as annoying as the rest of them. The accents were, well, some of the accents, American accents, were pretty good, but some of them, the others, were just off, and that really took out a lot out of the film for me. I don't know why the director couldn't have gone with his native German language, but yeah, I just felt that maybe he did this to make it appeal to the American audiences, but that was the least of his concerns because the acting was awful, and I don't know if it was down to the fact that the script was awful. Some really, really dodgy dialogue that really didn't go with some of the scenes. Now, for example, there's this guy who gets a text message and he's trying to read it, but it says the signal has been blocked. And he goes to this woman and says, "Look, mate, the signal's been blocked. What does this mean?" And she goes, "Well, it looks like the signal's been blocked." So that's the kind of dialogue you're getting yourself into. Yeah, not Oscar worthy, to say the least. But yeah, as I said, the characters were awful, and you want to see them die horribly. But unfortunately, there's no gore in this film, and this is where I have a problem with the classification system in Australia. Here it says R18 plus, high level horror violence. Now I thought if this is a crap movie, at least it could have some pretty good gore and memorable deaths. Unfortunately, the director, I don't know if he was scared to show violence or he just, I don't know, because every single death except one, he turned away from it. Just as they're about to get killed, he cuts to another scene. So you don't get to see any of it, just the aftermath. And the aftermath isn't really that shocking either. The one scene that I'm talking about that has gore is pretty much an axe goes into a head. You don't actually get to see the impact, but you just see a little red line of blood with an axe in the middle. And that's all you get. That's pretty much the most gruesome death you're going to get. You get a bit of blood, but the deaths were not inventive at all, lacked imagination. It kind of seemed like the further the film went on, the more bored the director got. If you're into gore, you're not going to find anything in this film. If you're into suspense, you're not going to find anything because the director really did not create any suspense, any gore. So for a slasher film, if you're not going to have any suspense or gore, you're really in trouble. And they had a twist at the end. Now the twist, I think, I'm trying not to give it away, but then again, if I gave it away, you're not missing out on much because it's not a great twist at all. But I think the reason for the off-screen deaths is to build up to the twist. And if it was a good twist, I could forgive it. But the twist was just your standard kind of thing. It took me by surprise, but it wasn't down to the fact that it was a clever twist. It was just down to the fact that I was getting bored and I wanted the film to end. So when it happened, I thought, no, okay, well, at least the film's finished. So yeah, it just didn't work, in my opinion. The killer was just some wanker in a mask with a meat hook, and he was kind of a wimp. He just didn't. He didn't have any intimidating presence. The characters made stupid decisions. They pretty much let him kill them. They didn't put up much of a fight. And yeah, what else can I say about this film? It had official selection in the Horror Hound weekend in the United States in 2007, and official selection in the Garadma Film Festival in France in 2008. So they must have been some pretty slow years for those film festivals, because for this to get selection, either they were being nice or they just didn't have any other films to put in. I'm sorry if you like this film. This is all a matter of opinion. So I'm not going to say you're an idiot for liking it, but as far as I'm concerned, I was bitterly disappointed with this one. There is no real saving grace. There's actually a female, the lead female in the film was fairly attractive. So that's a positive from the film, I guess. But yeah, nothing really to write home about in this film. No gore, no suspense, no nudity. Nudity's not a big thing, but it just didn't have anything to it. It was just a really ordinary pedestrian kind of film. And I'm not going to recommend it because I wouldn't feel good about it. And, you know, if I recommend this film, you pay good money to go and buy it, and you find out what it's like, then you might hate me for the rest of your life. So I'm not going to recommend it, but, you know, at least rent it before you buy it, because it's a big risk. You might like it, you know, my tastes might not be the same as others, so you might like it, but at least, you know, I wouldn't buy it before you try it, because I did that and I was disappointed. You know, it was only $10, but yeah, I feel that I could have spent that $10 a lot better. So I'm not sure if this is Luis Camara's first effort at a horror film. If it is, I applaud him for having a go, but yeah, if you're going to make a slasher film with no gore, at least have some suspense. And if you're not going to have a film, you're going to have a film with no suspense, at least have a bit of gore. And if you don't have either of them, well, it really doesn't work. And there's no likable characters, no memorable scenes. Some pretty creepy atmosphere, I'll give him that, but it's not enough to save the film. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is a very ordinary effort, and it's not coming recommended. Very, very forgettable. Alright guys, that's my review. I'll do another one very soon because I've got a lot of time today. So I'll do another review of an Australian low budget film, so look out for that one. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope it was helpful. Once again, if you disagree with what I've just said, let me know. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.